Welcome to Picture Book Drama, where it is everything in entertainment. I am your host, Sean, your video and comic guru, and welcome to our next installment of the 31 Days of October. This is a countdown that is near and dear to my heart. It's basically my favorite horror films. Hopefully you guys are going to let me know what your favorites are. But right now we're going to be kind of bringing back a classic, in my opinion. I think it's old enough now to be called a classic. Came out in 1979, directed by John Carpenter, who at that time had directed 1 year prior to that, maybe a year and a half prior to that, Halloween. And that movie is The Fog. This movie is one of my all-time favorite films. It does exactly what I needed to. It scared the crap out of me, but it also brought me back to when I was a kid living in Detroit when I first saw it. In the apartment that we lived on the second floor, and it was always, for some reason, misty, but I probably considered it foggy, and I was fine with it all. And then I saw this damn movie in '79, and for some reason I associated that always with the fog, so, you know, I had problems, but we're moving on. This movie actually was highlighted for having Jamie Lee Curtis as a star. And she was in the movie, she kind of was in and out of it, but the star of this film is actually Adrienne Barbeau. She actually is the one that comes up with, you know, what's going on and, you know, getting the town aware prior to it coming. And the special effects in this movie were just amazing. They were simple. I mean, they actually filmed a lot of stuff in reverse. There's a documentary that's out that actually comes with this version, actually, that shows you some of the making of it. That poor guys are running through the forest or with fog, you know, machines trying to get it all misty. And then what they would do is film it in reverse, and it would be sucked out. So it's just really basic filmmaking, but it was effective. You know, you had Hal Holbrook in the movie as the priest, you know, made up to look exactly like Mark Twain. Even the way he spoke was like Mark Twain. But he ended up being, if you would call, the antagonist of the film. He's the one that stole the gold from them and basically started to curse. And this movie actually starts off with actually Hal Holbrook. Not Hal Holbrook. Who is this? I can't remember anymore. It's John Houseman. I was going to say Wilford Brimley, but it's John Houseman. He actually starts this movie off where he's doing this story with some campers. And it's at night, they're telling scary stories, and he basically tells them a story of pirates that were lured to their death because the town folk had changed the lights, and what the lights did was actually made them crash into the rocks that killed them, and they stole their gold, and that starts the curse of the fog. And the whole point of the film is them just getting their gold back, and he's keeping it from them. And their fog is just basically coming out that one anniversary of the year, and they're coming out for revenge. And it just terrifies you. I mean, you get, you know, I was going to actually say her name, but Jamie Lee Curtis's mom was in this movie. What's her name, and what iconic horror film was she in? Let me know, hit me up, because it's definitely going to be in our countdown, but before it comes out, let me know what you guys think. But she's also in this movie, and they don't act together. They have one scene where they're standing together, or maybe they're in a room together, but they don't interact. Jamie Lee Curtis was actually waiting to do that film with her mom, and maybe they've done one now, I don't know. But something that was a little bit more dramatic and not so much a horror film. But this movie's still just amazing. Everybody acted their ass off in this film. So I'm Sean, your video and comic guru. Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up down there. Let me know if this is your favorite John Carpenter movie or one of them. Also, who was the one that produced this film with him? She produced Halloween with him. So I got a couple of trivia questions out there for you. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm also available here on YouTube. Subscribe and like to get a comment from me. That way you guys are always aware of what my new updates will be. But hey, that's it. This is me talking about The Fog. Talk to you guys later. Peace.